Hey everyone, it's me Ari Dawsett, call me Rashid. I'm your anthropologist and sociologist. Please hit the like button, share this live stream, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the channel. Don't forget, you can donate the links below through PayPal or through my bank link. If you wish a one-on-one consultation with me, you can please check the fees and the instructions in the description box. And don't forget, you can check my novels on Amazon. I have a lot of them and more upcoming. Also Barnes& Noble, other places you can find them. Hold on. These here are a few of my novels. See, that's Ari Dawsett. They were written by me. All right. So, okay, you can check them on Amazon. But okay. How are y'all doing today or tonight? Let me check if you can hear me clearly. Hold on. Okay, hold on, guys. Go to my YouTube page. Yes, it's airing now. Go to my YouTube page. Okay. You should be able to hear me clearly. Great. This live stream of tonight, because it's nighttime for me, will not last that long. I just want to remind you about criminal sympathy rituals. A criminal sympathy ritual is when the underworld, and I've explained what the underworld is, the ancient priest classes went underground since the emergence of Christianity. After the Council of Nicaea, and there was also an edict of Thessalonica, I believe, that was also involved. After these edicts and these agreements in the Roman Empire, the priest class worlds slowly went underground, and they became the underworld today, who are doing blood rituals and blood sacrifices in societies. There are outlaws out there, just people doing crime, but you also have people inaugurating the underworld. The underworld, because they're worshipping deities, they worship demons, they follow certain codes of behavior because all focus on a deity. And everyone in the underworld who's inaugurated, and they don't want to have angelic intervention happening when they're doing their negativity. So that's why they always want to trap the population in what they're doing. Just they can use the population as a shield when things backfire on them. All right, so just that being out. I have a question for you all. How many of you experienced a crime in your neighborhood or in your town or city of which you knew from the start something doesn't add up about this crime? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know. Please let me know in the live chat. Mhm. Look, there are two types of crime rituals: a silencing ritual, in which you kill or injure someone to cause trauma in the population as a form of um, tricking people not to question society. That's one thing. They also have sympathy rituals. Those are rituals you do to trigger sympathy to the local population. If there's a scandal ongoing or some neglect came out from the local population that would otherwise ruin the reputation of the city or town or of the country, the underworld would conduct sympathy rituals. They would enforce a tragedy out there, whether it's someone going missing, someone being severely bodily injured, or someone being murdered, and they become a cold case, they would enforce tragedy on the public to trigger sympathy to the locals over there. And because this hyper emotional atmosphere, people don't want to hear about scandals because they think, come on now, it's a scandal enough that this horrible thing happened. For example, if a little girl was kidnapped and she's missing for over 2 years, nobody wants to hear about scandals of the locals over there saying, come on now, little girl's missing. We know what happened to her. Come on now. So a sympathy ritual is done to distract away from the obvious scandals of the local population. And a sympathy ritual is only a sympathy ritual if it triggers sympathy. If it doesn't trigger the sympathy, that means the ritual failed. So to make sure the ritual succeeds, the underworld makes sure that when they do a sympathy ritual, it always involves people who are at the core of the community. Some loner who for years have never spoken to people, they're not going to do a sympathy ritual with him because it won't have that much of an effect. But if it's a 25-year-old woman, 25 years young woman, 25 years young woman who's just engaged, who just got married, who's a church attends church, or maybe she's a feminist who just started her own company, something like that will trigger a lot of sympathy. Or maybe is a relative of someone with influence. Anyway, a sympathy ritual anyone can be the target of a sympathy ritual if they are embedded in a community. Someone that's not embedded in a community, a sympathy ritual on them will be a waste of effort and time, and waste of life also, because the death or the murdered individual will not trigger the sympathy that's required. So I cannot say that all crime out there is an organized ritual by the underworld. Some crime are just outlaws doing crap to get cash, or someone can't leave their ex-partner alone and they want to take it out on them. So you have people losing their mind or being greedy for cash and doing crime. But those are incidents. Majority of crime in the world since the fall of the Western Roman Empire have been rituals. Okay? So most of these rapes out there, most of these abductions, child molestations, most of these CP that they have online, most of the actual homicides or the drug trade, all that are all rituals, just so you know. Okay. Another thing about the sympathy ritual is, unless the victim is below 15 or below 16, I mean sometimes 15 or 16, unless the victim is in their late teens and older, let me tell you this. If a victim is below 15 or sometimes 16, they would give warning to the parents and those responsible for that individual of what they're about to do. If someone is about 15, in France 16, depends on what the age of consent is in the country. If someone is above the age of local consent, they will warn that individual directly, male or female, what they're about to do to them. Because the underworld, as I mentioned before, they operate in rituals. And because they don't want any angelic intervention, they have to warn either those that are responsible for the victim or the victim itself what about to do to the victim. They'll give 3 warnings. After the 3rd warning, if still nothing is done, they go ahead with the crime. That's how they work. And after there's at least a month between the first warning and actual doing the act. And make sure the warnings have days between them, so you can process them also. So, okay, I have a question for you all. Can you all give me links in the description, in the live chat, about any, whether it's a cold case or a current case, can be a big one, international level, or any case, it can also be a case that's been solved already. Mention a case to me in the live chat of which you think, Rashid, that's a sympathy ritual. Now we'll look at it. Just let me know. And also, if you have questions about the topic of sympathy rituals itself, you can also ask them right now. Thank you. Well, as you know, I look down here because here's the main screen that I'm using for my laptop. You have another screen over here with a camera over there. You have another screen over here. So I'm using 3 screens. Okay. Is there any case that you know of that you could say, Rashid, this is a sympathy ritual? Okay. Maria mentioned something about someone called Gene Hackman. Never heard of that name before. Let me look that up, please. Gene Hackman. Okay, let me look over here. Wait. Wasn't Gene Hackman not that that actor who passed away last month? And did it come out that he only left an inheritance to his recent wife, not to his children? Oh yeah, here he is. Okay, so why did you mention this actor, Maria? What triggered you to think this may be a sympathy ritual, or maybe there's something involved with sympathy ritual? Ooh, why? He came in enemy of the state with Will Smith. Okay. Okay, they played in the movie. This was the A-list actor also. Okay. Let me see about this policy. Hold on. I think, so let me get this straight. There was an investigation to see, because the deaths appear suspicious, but then they concluded that there was not a crime. Foul play was not suspected. Okay, this could have just been likely that this man had health issues, but he was 95 already. And I'm not saying that just because he was 95, that means that he should, if he dies, it's going to be foul play. Okay, there were people older than I, who lived longer than 95, and they died under suspicious circumstances. In this case, it could have been he just had a disease. It got worse and worse, and he died. That could be it. But again, I know why you're thinking this. This is a A-list actor. And so, yeah, there was, oh yeah, I remember there was one investigation about this guy. So they weren't seen for weeks until the police were. Oh, I remember this case now. It showed a few times in suggestions that. Okay. Now, anyway, we can't be certain about this one. But if it was just really by the disease, then just very unfortunate. But if there's something suspicious about his death, then it's worthwhile to look into it. It could be a same-day ritual, maybe, but that's a very vague one in this case. Okay. That is the two twin brothers in South Carolina. Do we have a name of them? Okay, let me look. Twin brothers, South Carolina. Oh, twin brothers killed in South Carolina. Okay. Okay, let me see. I'm about to share my screen with you all. Um, okay. Can you all see my screen? Okay. Family reject police murder-suicide theory on twin brothers found dead at Mount Summit. The twins' family have said the police explanation makes no sense, arguing the boys were close and had no history of conflict. Okay. Let me make this bigger. The family of a 19-year-old twin brothers found fatally shot on a Georgia mountain this month have rejected a police theory that one killed the other than himself in apparent murder-suicide. Kadir Malik Lewis and Nasir Rahim Lewis, who were about to turn 20, were found by hikers at the summit of Bell Mountain in Hiawassee on the morning of Saturday, March 8th. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation said in a statement that both men had gunshot wounds, and the preliminary investigation feels that the deaths to be a murder-suicide. They're very protective of each other. They love each other, Raheem Brown, an uncle, told NBC affiliate WXEA of Atlanta. They're like inseparable. I couldn't imagine them hurting each other because I've never seen them get into a fist fight before. The GBI said in a brief Saturday update that autopsies have been completed on the pair, but a medical examiner ruling had not been released because further forensic testing was needed. Hold on a minute. If further forensic testing was still needed, that means that you could have a medical examiner ruling. That's it. So why do you even talk about the case before the ruling has been done? But okay. MC News has reached out to the CBI for comment. The pair from Lawrenceville, Georgia, had planned to travel to Boston to see friends and were due to fly at 7 a.m. on March 7th. Authorities say they never made the flight, and their bodies were found 90 miles away from their home in an area their family says they have never visited. The twins' family have said the police explanation makes no sense, arguing the boys were close and no history of conflict. Well, answers want to know exactly what happened to the twins. Samira Browner, an aunt, told WXEA. The family said they were bewildered as to why the pair ended up on an unfamiliar mountain that is popular with hikers and tourists and not far from the North Carolina state line. The twins' plane tickets were still in their wallets. I'm about to go to Google Maps, so don't worry. How did they end up in the mountains? They don't hike out there. They've never been out there, Brown said. They don't know anything about Hiawassee, Georgia. They never even heard of Bell Mountain, so how did they end up right there? The GBI states that their preliminary findings suggest a murder-suicide, but family strongly disputes that conclusion. We knew right away that wasn't true, Browner said. Jasmine Browner, another aunt, told WXEA they had a huge support system. We know them. They wouldn't do anything like this. To say they did this to each other, no, something happened in those mountains and we want answers. On a GoFundMe page set up to raise money for funeral expenses, Jasmine Brown wrote in a recent news report it was claimed that they took their own lives. My nephews wouldn't do this. They came from a family of love and twins wanted so much for the future. They had dreams of starting their very own clothing line. The page raised more than $20,500 as of Monday morning. Okay. So let me go to Google Maps. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Go to Google Maps over here. Let me zoom out of the Netherlands. Okay, what was that location again? Bell Mountain. Okay, let me see if I can find it like this. Bell Mountain. So here's where they were found, in this area. Okay, now where did the boys live? The young man live, I mean. Lawrenceville, okay, hold on now. Lawrenceville, Georgia. What the hell? Hold on, guys. Okay, there's no public transport over there. Let's see it with a car. It's around 90 miles, almost. Yeah, indeed, like say in the newspaper. 2 hours and 10 minutes driving. So 2 hours and 2 hours, two and a half, 2.25 of hours before you arrive there. Okay. So let's go to this. Lawrenceville over here. You have a restaurant, 2 restaurants over here, I believe. Yeah. All the way with near another restaurant over there. Okay. When do they have to, where would they take the airplane? Hold on. Ticket. Okay, takes one in the pocket. Travel to Boston to see friends. Okay, we're not sure from where they wanted to fly, but okay. They want to go to Boston, all the way over here to see friends. They were 19, about to turn 20. They were still teenagers. I'm sorry to say, guys, but this place in the middle of nowhere over here. Let me look at 3D. Go in. Yeah, this mountainous area over here. You have this, you don't have many towns over there. You have a reservoir over here with a few settlements. Why would a twin brother, if they had a conflict right before they're about to visit some friends, travel all the way to a mountainous area like this just to take each other out? They want to start their own clothing brand, all of that, so they had plans for the future. So let's look. Where are they from? Lawrenceville. All right. Let's type in Lawrenceville. Okay. Let's see. Lawrenceville. Lawrenceville is a city in and the county seat of Gwinnett County, Georgia, United States. It's a suburb of Atlanta, located approximately 30 miles, 50 kilometers northeast of downtown. It was incorporated on December 15, 1821. It's a very old place then. Okay. So, yeah, the War of 1812, that issue over there. Okay, just all deep in history. Let's go to recent. Presbyterian Church over there. They replaced the Justice Center in 1988. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. It was still occurring there back in the 1970s. Okay. Okay, so what do you have there? Arts and culture. Okay. So you have Areta Theater over there. So you have some culture over there, sport over there too. You have many elementary schools. You have middle schools, high schools. You have some culture universities over there too. You have railway transportation, and you even have an airport. Okay, give me ask yourself, Rashid, why are you going to all of this? If you suspect that something is the same with your ritual, that means that somewhere there is some type of scandal that um, that you want to keep hidden. So the sympathy ritual is done to distract away from that scandal. Hold on, guys. Well, okay, these are the twin. Oh, down here, wearing green after graduation. Here's them as children. Well, let me allow some ads to happen over here. Okay. So here they are. Some relatives. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Okay. I don't know these people. Hell, absolutely not. I'm not a body language expert. I'm just saying that their facial expressions look a bit off. Do you guys notice that too? It's okay, maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe I'm going too far with this, but I don't know, man. Let's do it again. Before I continue, how many of you really believe this story as it was told by the authorities? Oh, he ended up in the mountain one way or the other, and one shot the other and then killed himself. How many of you really believe this? Let me know in the live chat, please. Let me know. Okay. All right. How many of you really believe this story over here? I'm just curious. Listen, I suspect this to be a symptom ritual 100%. Two young men in their late teens, about the end of their 20s, they have plans for the future, want to start their own clothing line. They're from what they call the African American community. They should be called Judean Moors officially, but that's the political term they use now, African American. They're from that part. And what has been going on in the United States recently, since the 20th of January of this year, 2025? What's been going on? Quite some controversial stuff, doesn't it? Didn't didn't the Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, by the way, Doge is derived from the Doge of Venice that used to exist in the Venetian Republic. But anyway, didn't Doge figure out that there was a lot of scandals and a lot of uh, fraud happening in the Department of Education? Weren't there scandals and crimes coming out recently? And now that all these things are coming out, oh, and by the way, for some reason, the Epstein client list is still not out. The Jeffrey Epstein client list is still not out. I thought Donald Trump and Elon Musk were all about, dismantling the deep state, draining the swamp, or stop all the wasteful spending, and did they want justice on they didn't want to make America great again. I mean, that Epstein thing doesn't make America look good. So it would be in the best interest of the United States to have this thing solved as soon as possible. Why is the Epstein list still not out? Okay, so we have all these scandals coming out, except the Epstein client list. And now these two young men mysteriously do a murder-suicide. This type of trauma does trigger sympathy to the low community, also to what they call the African American population. So now that all the folks on what the heck is this, we need to investigate this more, nobody will question anything happens around. Now, I'm not a resident of, what's the place again? Lawrenceville. I've never been there in my life. I don't know anyone from there. So I don't want to just make conclusions of the city without doing my investigation. However, I have to say, this feels like a safety ritual onto me. So the question is, what scandal of that city or what scandal of the state of Georgia is being overlooked right now? That's what you should look into. And if this is a safety ritual, I would say don't look further than the city itself for the suspects. Don't look any further than the city itself. And if there's a safety ritual, that means that people who know these young men assisted in getting it done. Okay? Did my analysis of this case help you or teach you something? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know, please. Amen. God is good. Look, as I mentioned before, a sympathy ritual, you can't just pick, listen, you can only pick people who are embedded in the community. These two young men were embedded in the community. If we're two teenagers who were loners, only in the mother's basement playing video games all day long, the sympathy ritual wouldn't work. Because what sympathy would you trigger with that? There needs to be a loss, a grief for the public. There must be some sadness and some loss for the public that we will mourn about. And it's the sadness and the loss that triggers the sympathy. And this sympathy now blinds people from noticing the scandals and things that continue as usual. Okay, let me look. Look, the thing is, sympathy rituals are so common, you'll be shocked how often they happen. And another thing about sympathy rituals is that in a sympathy ritual, there's always someone close to the victims who are in on it. A sympathy ritual can never happen without people nearby assisting the satanic cult in doing their ritual. So straightforward said, if a sympathy ritual happens and someone goes missing or someone is found dead or whatever happened, or maybe it was sex crime or whatever, I don't know, there's always someone close to the victim, whether a relative or a colleague at work or someone from school or someone close to them was in on it. Simple as that. And sometimes the people who are in on it will be the first ones to help with the search. They will be the first ones to contact the media. They'll be the main ones crying on TV sometimes. But oh, it's so horrible. I mean, sometimes you see these so-called relatives or friends or family were so concerned, but their concern seems played, seems acted. It doesn't seem genuine. Often it's not. Okay? You'll be surprised how far people are willing to go to set you up, yo. I'm telling you. Anyone else has any other case that you highly suspect is a same-day ritual? It could be something from the past that's already solved, or it could be something new. Doesn't matter. The reason I'm asking this because same-day rituals happen a lot, so I'm sure you know at least a few cases that are likely same-day rituals. In the past, I addressed a few from the Netherlands already, so I already did that. If you want, I'll check if I can find something else from the Netherlands that I assume might be a same-day ritual. God is good. So understand the following. A sympathy ritual is done to trigger sympathy. And look, if you're embedded in the community, you can be a target too. But here's the thing. These satanic calls don't just come, jump out of the vehicle and track you and kidnap you. They don't do that. They ritually prepare you for what they're about to do to you. So let's say now, while I'm talking, or we'll say while I'm teaching, or at this moment, I'm not talking, I'm teaching. While I'm teaching now, if you remember any case that you say that may be a simple ritual, please note in the live chat. I'm teaching now. So this is how it works. Let's say now you're embedded in the community, you have a job, you're married, and you are not bothering anyone. And let's say now you're a woman, you love your husband and expecting your first baby with your husband. So you're about to become a mom, you have a lot going for you. And let's say now that um, let's say there's a lot of prostitution happening underground in your city. Married men are going to prostitutes. If this comes out, it'll be an embarrassment for the whole city, and the city may suffer financial losses. And also political problems may follow. So nobody wants this scandal to come out. So now you have chief warlocks who are looking at the situation like, you know what? This is an opportunity to bring appeasement to the public. And then they now will talk about this with the wizards, and the wizards will give the red light. Okay, you can go ahead. They give them the green light. I mean, you can go ahead. These chief warlocks will go through the city. They'll go through the archives. These warlocks even have agents of them working at the municipality or at the city's registry. They'll go through the data of people to find out who may be suitable. Let's say you are a woman, pregnant, married, and you are the target. They're not just going to drive with a car, follow you, and then kidnap you, and then kill you, dump your body somewhere, and that's a simple ritual. It's not how they do it. They will send someone close to you to warn you. So maybe you have a colleague at work called Stephanie. And Stephanie, she goes to nightclubs from time to time. That's her weakness. And so at the nightclub, the warlocks approach her. And the warlocks are telling her exactly what's about to happen. I did tell her, listen, Stephanie, we know you have student loan debt that's haunting you. We know that you have an auntie who needs medicine and she can't pay for it. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We get you covered. We just want you to assist us with something. Because they already have her trapped. She thinks, okay, what do you want? We want you to tell the following story to your colleague at work. Your colleague who just got married, who's now pregnant, also wants her to just talk to her about women going missing. Start the topic, stop talking about women going missing for at least 10 minutes with her. Next time you're at work, during your breaks. And Sam thinks, okay, I'll do it. So Stephanie, next day at work, she begins to talk about women going missing. She won't stop talking about it. And you think, why is Stephanie talking about women going missing out of the blue? What's the sudden interest? Well, that's weird, and this weird. That was your first warning. Because why is your colleague who's never interested in any topic suddenly talking about it like that? That's weird. Okay, that's the first warning. If you heed the warning and begin to investigate, in fact, let me just ask questions. You may ask, Stephanie, why do you talk about this, whatever. If you notice her facial expression going blank or shocking, okay, something's wrong here. You talk about this with your husband. When you guys pray about it also, it's over. The satanic cult will not continue with a plot against you. They're not even allowed to. But what if you brushed off on Stephanie? I don't know, you just brush it off. So you ignore the first warning. A week or two later, let's say 2 weeks later, you're about to doing groceries. And while doing groceries, you have a guy staring at you. He keeps staring at you like that. And you think, whoa, what is this? You leave the supermarket and you notice he's following you. All the way to your car, he follows you. You get into your car. When you're driving home, the car is still following you. And you get terrified. And then suddenly, right before you are entering your street, it leaves. So it doesn't even enter your street near your residence. The car just leaves at some point. That guy staring at you like that, following you, and also following you in his car, that was the second warning. Now, that warlock that did that didn't intend to kill you, nothing. It was just to show you that we see you. If at the second warning, you call the cops, you mention it, you make a YouTube video about it, or you do whatever, the satanic cult stops their operation. They won't continue anymore. Because you heeded the warning, that means that they need to stop. But let's say for some reason, the second warning doesn't, because you do remember, you call it talk about women going missing. So you call it talk about women going missing out of the blue for so long, and now a guy follow you like that. Your brain makes a connection. What is this? If you don't give heed to this, let's say you don't do this, then you ignore the second warning. So it'll be one lost warning. A week, let's say maybe 8 or 10 days later, suddenly, let's say you are at home, you're browsing on your computer, and then you receive a few text messages, weird text messages. Or it could be that in your email, you got a lot of these emails coming in about, places you never heard of, whatever. Or suddenly you have this weirdo adding you on Facebook or whatever. You think, who's this individual? Now, that is the third warning. And the third warning is to show you that, okay, listen, this is weird. You need to look at it. If at the third warning, you finally realize, okay, something's off, let me pray about it, let me fuss about it, let me keep talking about it. If that happens, the satanic cult will not proceed. If after the third warning, you do not heed it, to them, this is confirmation that you're not part of the bad situation. And you are, because things happened, didn't add up, you didn't process it, didn't do anything about it, so you symbolically consented to the bad outcome. When this happens, they now have the green light to continue. So one day, you actually leave your house just to go get some groceries or whatever. And guess what? Now, people jump out of a vehicle, drag you into it, and you disappear. And you also think what happened to my wife. Reports you missing, and later they find your body somewhere. Double homicide. Whole community is in shock. Families hurt. Police investigation starts. Big sympathy comes to the local community, and everyone forgets about the underground prostitution was happening because a mother, a future mom, was killed. Double homicide. But you see what I mean here? The underworld, or those satanic cults, They follow a protocol, a strict protocol. Deviation from the protocol can mean a death sentence amongst them. So these warlocks, they follow a blueprint to make sure they have a proper cover when they're doing their crime rituals. So you always will get 3 warnings, often spent in a time span of a month. After the third warning, you still don't take heed, you're doomed. Simple as that. And you may ask, but Rashid, they're so wrong, and I never told you they were right. They're wrong for what they're doing, absolutely. Thing is, as a human being, you have the natural obligation to be alert about your environment, both for yourself and other people. If you neglect your own safety, your own security by not being alert, now you are part of the bad situation. And if you operate in darkness and you put yourself and others at risk, you're not part of the negativity too. So if you're part of negativity, willingly because you're just neglectful like that, why would Heavenly Father intervene for someone wasteful like this? I don't think it's okay what they're about to do to you. Hell no, it's wrong. It should never happen. God doesn't agree with it. Thing is, by you being neglectful like this towards yourself, by you being in this darkness, you now are aligning yourself with Satan, with fallen angels, and with all the violence of the earth. So if you align yourself with darkness, that means that you have actually abandoned the safety God's providing for you. So if you abandon the safety God's providing for you by not using your natural sense that God has given to you, how can you complain when bad things happen to you? You chose to be part of a bad situation. And that's why, listen, believers who walk by faith, listen, the underworld won't even try to do a safety ritual on you if you're walking by faith. They know that's not no-go. If you're a believer and you're not walking by faith, even then they're quite cautious of should you even try this. If you're proven to be a believer that's wasteful and neglectful, continuing in darkness, then they'll make an attempt. If you're an unbeliever without any paranormal charm, hell yeah, they'll make a try for you. Is this clear to you now? You cannot participate in a bad situation and be safe from the bad outcome of that situation. Okay? And that's why they give 3 obvious warnings to you before they actually make that attempt on you. If they would come to you directly with a bad intent, they'll face backlash. They'll face spiritual backlash. And their attempt will likely fail with bad outcomes for them. By them inviting you to what they're about to do to you, by them inviting you into this darkness, if you take the invitation by ignoring the warning symptoms, now you're part of that darkness. You now step outside of God's blessing for you, and now you're fully vulnerable to all the danger, and then they will make a move on you. So understand this. I'm not saying that people who became the victims simply rituals, that is all their own fault. No. They had no idea, a lot of them, they would end up being kidnapped, killed, whatever. It does not take away that they operate in darkness and that intentional. It does take that away. If you get warning symptoms and you ignore them, you're responsible for endangering yourself and others by doing that. So the people were neglectful and that was used against them. But here's the thing, if someone was a child or in the early teens, you can absolutely not blame them. In this case, you have to blame the parents or the people around. Because if someone's a child or in the early teens, they will not give warnings to that individual, they give warnings to their caretakers. So if you have this serial killer that wants to do his shit on your 15-year-old daughter and all of that just to trigger a sympathy ritual, he will give the warnings not to the 15-year-old, but likely to the caretakers. Well, 15 is a border. Sometimes do, sometimes they don't. If it's your child below 12 years old, and it was someone from some pedophile ring that they want to do a sympathy ritual, they will give warnings to the parents, the school, everything. The warning systems are always given. That's why the underworld gets away with their violence for so long. It's not that they actually get away with it individually. It's that as a cult, they manage to survive the backlash because they hide behind the public. Is this all clear? Let me know in the live chat. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me go to another case. Dion said, let me see, this one is a family tragedy. 2-year-old killed by mother's boyfriend, New Orleans police chief. Can I tell you? Tamara Mag is her name. Ruby Mag and mother's name. Okay. Let me look it up. It's always horrible when children are involved in these things. Okay, what's the name of the mom? Ruby Mag. Case happened in New Orleans. Okay. I don't find the case quickly, but let me keep looking. Can I tell you? Okay, I think I found the case over here. Thing is, I don't find much about it. By the way. Anyway, this case, Dion, there's not much about it. Oh, I found it here. Oh, okay. I'm gonna look for newspaper articles about this. Meanwhile, let me share this with you all. State versus Hooks. Oh, it's a case from the 1980s. Okay. That can explain why I don't see any newspaper articles. It's a very old one. But anyway. The State versus Hooks. January 5th, 1983. And okay, Tamara McGee. Okay, let me see. Okay, we're going to read from here. Okay. Defendant Darren Hooks was charged on September 18, 1980 by a grand jury indictment with the first-degree murder while in the perpetration of aggravated rape, a violation of committed on August 26, 1980. The defendant entered a plea of not guilty, and in May 1981 he was tried before a 12-member jury and found guilty as charged. The jury was unable to agree upon a sentencing recommendation as required by statute, and the defendant was sentenced under to life imprisonment without benefit of probation, parole, suspension, or sentence. The defendant appeals, urging 8 assignments of error. At the time of the murder for which the defendant was indicted and convicted, he was sharing an apartment with Ruby Maggie, the mother of the victim, and Tamara Maggie, 2-year-old victim, who has been sexually assaulted and killed. In the afternoon of August 26, 2018, Ruby Maggie was at work in a fast food restaurant in New Orleans, and the victim, the mother, was at her grandmother's house. The defendant came to see the victim's mother at work. He wanted to know if the mother wanted him to pick up the victim that night. There was testimony that he became angry and upset as he talked with the victim's mother before he left to pick up the victim from the grandmother's house. When the defendant arrived at the grandmother's house around 5 or 6 p.m., the victim was noticeably afraid of the defendant and cried when he appeared. When the victim left the grandmother's house, she was healthy and fully dressed with no signs of bruises, cuts, or any other injuries on her body. Tamara McKee was next seen at Charity Hospital about 11:20 p.m. that same evening. She was dead on arrival at the emergency room. When the defendant took the child to the hospital, she was nude, wrapped only in a sheet with many different lacerations and contusions all over her body, both superficially and internally. The pathologist who performed the autopsy testified at trial that there were numerous bruises on the child's head, face, chest, hips, abdomen, and thighs. On the side of the child's face, there was a bruise in the shape of a hand, and there were puncture wounds in the abdomen area that were the size or shape of fingernails. At trial, the pathologist Dr. McGarry testified that the puncture wound appeared as if the skin had been violently grasped in someone's hand. The pathologist further testified that the actual cause of death was due to the victim's liver being torn from some type of compressive force, and also due to injuries to the head, which caused brain swelling and internal hemorrhaging. In addition, pathologists noticed that the child's vagina and hymen were torn and oh my god, I'm gonna stop right over here. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna read any further, y'all. Um, sorry guys, this involves a 2-year-old. Even if it involved a grown woman, it goes too far. Come on now. Okay. Let's see where this crime took place. New Orleans. Well, could this be? I am 99% certain this is a sympathy ritual. You know why? New Orleans is the center of occultism for what they call the Black community or the Judean Moor community worldwide. And a lot of people go to New Orleans to get charms, to purchase charms also. You don't have to go all the way to Haiti. You also buy them in New Orleans. And the 1980s, it was a controversial time also. It was after the civil rights struggle. Still had the Cold War going on. And there was a lot of conflicts arising amongst what they call the African Americans, or we should call Judean Moors. So this type of stuff, that's how safety rituals often look like. Horrible, graphic, things that will make you vomit, cry, and faint. It triggers a lot of sympathy. The spell is people forget about all the other scandals. I can't blame people if something horrible like this happens and you keep talking about scandals like that. So what can you do to prevent a sympathy ritual? It's very simple. This is what people can do to prevent sympathy rituals. Be open that your community is not perfect. Be open that your community has flaws in it. When you have this transparency in a community that people are open, they're not perfect, and they're open about their defects, but they're also willing to do something about it. If that's the climate in a community, no sympathy ritual will ever be even attended over there. What is there to look sympathy for? People are facing life. If you're living in a community, however, where people are neglectful or they want to be so private, they don't want to be open and real, guess what? Scandals will occur behind the scenes, and before you know it, symptom rituals will happen. So if you live in an environment like that, one thing you do is you pray, decree, and declare of your neighborhood. Release holy fire to consume to ashes all these works of iniquity that are enabling this type of crimes. Guess what you need to do? Also, just pay attention to your loved ones from time to time. Ask them, how are you doing? You don't have to ask them every day, but from time to time, ask them how you're doing. If you have on social media, reach out to them from time to time. Because same-thing rituals, one thing you need to know about it, they need someone who's embedded in the community, but they can't have someone who's well looked after of the community. Someone is well looked after, you're not going to get the chance to just do something towards them like that. You need someone who's embedded in the community, but somewhere they are neglected and somewhere they don't get the proper care they need. Those are the type of people they go after. Amen. So knowing this also means that we need to be ahead of that. I'm not telling you to befriend everyone out there who's neglected. That's not even possible. This can even be exhausting. You're not able to do all of that. I'm just telling you, look after your own people. Look after your neighborhood. I'm not telling you to get the phone numbers of everyone who lives in your neighborhood. I'm not telling you to keep visiting their houses one by one. I'm telling you to pay attention, not only to your relatives, also your neighborhood as a whole. Look around you. Today, too many people are in their phones. Hi, how you doing? Fine. Phone. Oh, thanks for asking. Phone. They go back to the phone. They're like phone zombies, man. Smartphone zombies, y'all. Look, sometimes you're distracted or you're on your phone. It happens to everyone. And then, okay, if I get distracted by the phone, so I'll put the phone away for a moment. Put your phone away for a moment and look around you, especially in public transport. Look around you. If you look around you regularly, and that alone can stop a sin ritual from happening. If everyone looks around regularly, sin rituals will decrease because the perpetrators know that, okay, these people are way too alert. Do you follow me? That's how we prevent these things from happening. The most important way to prevent these things from happening is through fasting and prayer. Because remember, these satanic cults operate in darkness with the aid of evil spirits, and they act in such a way to from them without and other people. That's why we need to be on we need to be on intervening regular prayers, decrees, and declarations. Fasting and prayer should be your lifestyle. Again, you should eat properly, drink properly, sleep properly. If you have a job to do your job, if it's time with family, you have to spend time with family, spend time with family. Just make room, fast and pray. Maybe at least 1 hour a day. Fast and pray. I'm telling you, it will block a lot of bad things from happening, even things you're not even aware of. All right. Now, how many of you in the far past, before you even knew about my YouTube channel, heard about these type of rituals being done? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know. Mhm. Well, these are the type of things that need to be taught because they happen all around you. Well, I just explained to you. I also explained to you how to prevent them, how to recognize them. Um, okay, let me just go in. Let me just share my screen again one moment. Okay. When you go to the website of the Dutch police, you see the missing persons case over here. They renewed the website, by the way. Thumbs up for them. Finally, they renewed their website right on time. Listen, On this police website, they don't give you much information about the case, just the basic things. Okay, and rightfully so because it's an ongoing investigation and it affects people who are either still alive, people who are in danger. It also affects loved ones and relatives who are also life affected by it. So I understand to put more information out there. But based on the information alone provided and the context, then you look at it. A lot of these missing people, I'm telling you all, these are SYMPATHY rituals, y'all. Let me see. Oh no. This case over here, at least we got the attention from it got attention from mainstream media, those from discovered in Belgium. Let's read it. Hey, Dayo, you did not upset me, okay? You did not upset me at all. It's upsetting that SYMPATHY rituals happen. And they happen a lot here in the Netherlands, so I mean, I'm used to things happening. You didn't do anything wrong, Dayo, okay? So, hold on. This is not a happy case, guys, but let's read it. Hold on. Okay. Angelique Hendricks. More than 30 years after Angelique Hendricks from Stein disappeared, the information has come up in his long-running missing persons case. A recent match with a DNA profile stored in the Belgian DNA database has proven that Angelique is no longer alive. The Public Prosecution Service offers a reward of €30,000 for the tip-off or information that solves this case. So the victim kind of looked like 70 centimeters, light blonde hair, blue-eyed female. On the 30th of July 1990, Angelique got on a bicycle and left for her parents' house on Heerstraat in Stein. Okay. Okay, this is about. Hold on. Let me just. How do I get away from this roots thing? Sometimes I forget how to work with Google Maps, y'all. One moment. Remove all of this. Hold on. I don't live in the United States, but okay. Okay. This is Stein, the city near the Belgian border, where she went missing. All this used to be the Netherlands, but since 1839, this is Belgium, this is the Netherlands. Okay, where's that case again? Yeah, okay. In Stein, nothing was heard from her since. There are different accounts of what happened next. This is a bit of a red flag. Okay, the investigation team is now asking the public's attention for this case once again in hope of finding out what really happened to Angelique. At the time of disappearance, Angelique was wearing Bermuda shorts. There is no further information about the other clothes she was wearing. She was probably wearing earrings, model unknown. She rode on a dark green woman's bicycle engraved with a postal code. Let's type in the postal code. Maybe that was the place where she lived. We don't know, but let's do this. It shows, the postcode shows a little neighborhood over here. Okay. Now, within all these 3 decades, things may have changed a little bit in the streets over there. Maybe not that much. But okay, the place is still here. Let's go to 3D. Okay, so there was a postal code. So this was kind of the area where she was last seen then, likely. But anyway, let's continue reading. The DNA profile stored in the Belgian database was taken from a skull that was found in Maasmechelen, Belgium, just across the border from Stein, on 20th May 1991. She disappeared 20 July 1990, and 11 months later, a skull was found. In the 1990s, no systematic DNA testing was carried out of the case in Belgium, but just 12 DNA samples was taken from the skull. This DNA profile was later added to the Belgian DNA database at the National Institute for Criminalistics and Criminology. In March 2024, Belgium changed its legislation to allow DNA profiles to be shared with Interpol's database, following which the DNA profile from the skull was indeed shared with Interpol. Recently, this led to a match between the DNA profile of Angelique's relatives and the one from the skull discovered in 1991. So they confirmed it was 100% her skull. So for over 3 decades, they had no idea what happened to her, but now it was confirmed she was dead. She's been dead for a while. Sad case. I believe her younger brother came on TV and did an interview about this. He's still not broken by the situation. And okay, so let's go. Maasmechelen. I mean, this river here is the border between Belgium and the Netherlands, as you can see. Around this area, she went missing. And Maasmechelen is the city right over here. Now, we don't know where exactly here the skull was found, but look at this. This is less than 3 miles away. Before she was last seen, her skull was found. Very close. Now, let's read further. This part I want you to all to read with me. When Angelique was reported missing in 1990, the police started an investigation. Over the past 30 years, they received many tips-offs and a great deal of information about this missing persons case. For each tip-off of piece of information, the police assessed in consultation with the Public Prosecution Service how serious it was, and which further investigative action or approaches could still be taken. The subsequent disappearance of one of Angelique's friends in June 1996 was comprehensively included in the investigation. The human remains of the friend in question, Maria Verbord, were found in January 1998 in a nature conservation area behind the church in Stein. A clear link to the two cases could never be established in the investigation. So let me get it straight. She had a friend who also disappeared a few years later, and her body was found too. Okay, let me close the screen sharing. Now look, no conclusive proof have been provided that the cases are related. But isn't it weird? You have 2 female friends, they know one another. One goes missing, and nobody knows what happened to her. And it took 3 decades to find out that she died in less than a year after going missing. But at the time she was already dead, people had no idea. Was she alive? Was she dead? Whatever. But his friend of hers also disappeared and she was found murdered. Mm, okay, we don't know all the details of the situation. So, from the same city, you have two women in less than a decade apart who knew one another, ended up killed. Now, sympathy ritual. Okay, back then, 1990s, it's a long time ago. I was born 1991, so I was just a little baby in Curacao when all this was taking place. Sympathy ritual, likely both of them sympathy rituals. But if that's the case, then what are the people there hiding, or what's being hidden there in that part of the province of Limburg? That's what you need to ask them. Okay, can I be wrong about this assessment? Absolutely. I'm just teaching you over here. Look at the context. Sympathy rituals are easily recognized because a lot of people don't know what sympathy rituals are. They don't detect one on time. The best time to recognize sympathy ritual is when it's being carried out. If you have a friend or family member, or you have someone at work who tells you about a weird experience they had, tell them to pay attention. Pray afterwards behind their back. Pray about the situation, all of that, man. When we do all these things, we can be ahead of a lot of this idiocy over here. Anyway, I pray and hope that the case of this Angelique is solved as soon as possible. However, it seems like a lot of people who know what happened are staying silent. So understand the following: with the sympathy ritual, you have people involved. Sometimes people close to the victims also, so beware of that. How are you all doing right now? Let me know. Well, let me tell you, a lot of people do these things, you all. So a sympathy ritual is meant to trigger sympathy. And not always, but often it's women who are the victim of sympathy rituals. Children can also be made victims, but often it's done to young adults who are female. It can happen to men too. It can happen to people from all age, but women are often used for it. And there's another case I want to discuss with you very briefly. This case has been solved already by the Dutch prosecution, but it's this case over here. It's an old one. It's a case of Marianne Vaatstra. This is murdered victim over here. She was killed in 1999. It's one of the survivors. I'll leave you the picture. Now, this case, it had a lot of attention in the Netherlands, a lot of attention. Let's go over here. There's even they made a Prime movie documentary about it. Okay. Oh, the family wasn't even aware that there was a series being made about it. Okay. Okay. Oh, and by the way, For journalistic and investigation purposes, I'm allowed to do this. I'm allowed to review cases that have been solved. Okay? I'm not defaming anyone or slandering anyone. I'm just doing a review over here. Okay. I'm going to read the case. And if you notice anything off or anything, any remarks, please share it in the live chat, okay? I just hope there was a newspaper article, man. Hold on. Okay, so I don't see any English newspaper articles except the Wikipedia page. Okay, let me do it like that. Okay. Marianne Vastra, born 10th of August 1982, dead 1st of May 1999, was a Dutch girl whose rape and murder became a high-profile criminal case in the Netherlands. Vastra, then 16 years old, was last seen alive cycling from Cologne to her parents' house in the Westerveen. Yeah. Okay, Westerveen. Okay, hold on, guys. Westerveen. Okay, my bad. I misread Westerveen. And it's in. Am I correct here? Okay. So there's a lot of farmland around. Okay. Let me go to 3D. Yeah, okay. Alright, okay. Her body was found the next day in a field close to Venkleester. Her throat slit. Traces of the perpetrator's blood and semen were also found at the scene. The blame was quickly pointed to inhabitants of the local asylum seekers' refuge, and a riot against asylum seekers ensued. The murder was a cold case until it was reopened in 2012 with large-scale DNA profiling in the area around the crime scene. This led to the arrest of local farmer Jasper Stellinga on 18th November of that year. He confessed to the rape and murder and was sentenced to 18 years imprisonment. The case was one of the first in the country to be resolved mainly using DNA evidence. It led to widespread debate about the use of DNA for criminal investigations. Look at this. It was an asylum seekers refuge. And people, based on xenophobia or racism, I don't know what that was in their mind, they accused asylum seekers of it. And people became so emotional out of sympathy that they began to, the riot came against asylum seekers. So now the asylum seekers were put in a negative daylight. And nobody paid attention to anything else was going on. So it was a cold case for a long time. Let's read further over here. The population column was quick to blame inhabitants of the local subject center for the murder. The center's security was upgraded, and riot police was readied in the weeks following the murder to intervene in the case of fighting between locals and refugees. At a municipal information meeting in October 1999 about the opening of a new center in the town, locals rioted with Colomar youth egging the mayor. At least one woman who had initiated the riot was convicted for a racist offense. Our first suspect, a 30-year-old man from the Westerveen, was arrested in late May 1999, was subsequently released because his DNA did not match that of the crime scene. He would become the first in a series of 12 suspects who were similarly arrested and released. From August 1999, police investigation of Vansa's murder focused on the asylum seeker center in Cologne. The Sanders Guards had reported that an Iraqi refugee had left the center on the night of the murder and has been missing since. He was tracked down by Interpol and arrested in Istanbul in October, but the investigation became a national controversy after an official of the Public Prosecution Service had stated the arrest was made under political pressure. What? Wait. So you're telling me that there was political pressure? People want it to be asylum seeker. And you pressured to look for this Iraqi, um, how to say this Iraqi asylum seeker that went missing. The Iraq was found innocent of the murder by DNA evidence. In 2002, a final decision was made to open asylum seekers refugees at that location without drawing local protests. You mean to tell me that the Public Prosecution Service acted under political pressure? Yes, they did. If there was no DNA found, they would have set this man up, this Iraqi refugee, to take the blame for this, I'm telling you. And the DNA sweep was started in December 1999, initially targeting 170 men in the area, of whom 162 cooperated. No match was found. The following year, investigators published a psychological profile of the perpetrator, who they suspect to be a white Western European male living less than 50 kilometers from the crime scene. The eventual case was closed and opened in 2002 for a year, then being closed again. You know what? I'm not going to talk too much about this case. I just hope I showed you here that anytime you see something being off about a crime case, especially about how the case is handled, consider that it may have been a ritual. Again, I'm not accusing anyone directly, but it is what it is. This it has all the face of a same-day ritual, guys. But again, such things are not discussed in the Netherlands. Absolutely not. People act like these things don't exist, like to watch away. Well, they keep watching away and it continues to happen. Okay, hold on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's what I wanted. The individual wanted to have a consultation with me. Okay. Okay. Does this live stream benefit you? Anyway, let me know in the live chat. God is good. Listen, a lot of people don't want to go there. Because once you admit simple rituals are done and there are people involved with it, the whole dualistic fairy tale of good guys versus bad guys, if you just obey the law, just do what you're told, everything's going to be fine, it's over. You realize that people are people. If they don't serve them Father, they're unstable and they can be used by demons or by other evil people. You have to actually be alert about your surroundings. A lot of people just want to stay in a fairy tale. If that's you, hey, I don't force you to watch my live streams. Just know here, your fairy tales are shattered to pieces. A safety ritual is done when a scandal is about to come out, or when a scandal is ongoing and there's no way to cover it up. Then they do safety rituals to distract attention away from the scandal. Mhm. For those who want to consultation with me, the fees are in the description box. Just email me about the consultation you want, and you can transfer the fee before the consultation, before the date we agreed. You can transfer it to PayPal, and then we have the consultation. Okay, praise God. Okay. Anyway, thank you all for being here and watch this live stream. Please watch the live stream, take notes, pay attention. Because as long as Jesus Christ hasn't returned yet, crime will continue, war will continue, and the sympathy rituals will continue to. And they will continue to happen because people allow these things to happen. But we can limit the amount of sympathy rituals and the amount of violence on the earth just walking by faith. So let's do that. Are there any questions about this topic? Just let me know in the live chat, please. Just let me know now. Mm-hmm. God is good. No. A sympathy ritual is done once on a victim. What you can have is that the sympathy ritual is reused for a long time. When a sympathy ritual is done and it turns to a court case, the effect of it can be reused over and over again, up until the case is solved. What you also can have is that some cults, they track down families throughout the generations and they make sure that within certain families, there's tragedy every 5 or every 10 years. Some cults even make sure that some neighborhoods have tragedy every 5 or 10 years, every 6 years, every 7 years. They have their interval to make sure that every 6 or 7 years, every 10 years, there's some big tragedy happening. This is done if that place is used as a front for whatever they're doing, or if there are a lot of pagan businessmen who want to start business over there, they can do rituals like that too. So generational sympathy rituals don't exist. What does exist is that a sympathy ritual is tracked out for a long time, the effect of it, or they repeat sympathy rituals over and over again in a neighborhood or in a certain family line. That can happen. It's a lot of work, but it happens. Any other questions? Mm-hmm. And remember, your sympathy rituals are done by satanic cults. There's always going to be someone close to the victim collaborating, and there's always 3 warnings at least. before after stretch for a month. Hold on. Anything individual almost done to live stream. Amen. Well, thank you all for being here. Keep on walking with Christ. If you wish a consultation, check the information in the description for the fees and all of that. Check my novels on Amazon. I have a lot of them written by me, so check out Amazon, Barcelona, those places. Donate in the links below to PayPal and the bank link. And I'll see you when next live stream. God is good all the time. Amen.